I think this session is being recorded. So what you can do is whoever you talk to when you registered for these office hours, feel free to reach out to them and ask them for a recording. I'm sure they should be able to send it out. What they generally do is once the session is over, they cut these videos into small segments and they post them on YouTube and stuff with specific questions. So like if somebody asks a really interesting question and I gave like a 5-minute answer to that, then they'll just generate a video out of that and they put that on YouTube. So you can search for it a little easier. But if you want the raw footage, then you can always reach out to them and ask them. Yeah, so a couple of things to unpack. If you are building a product or you're, rehashing a product for somebody else that you've already built, then the first question I would have is the scope already fixed? Which means, do you already know exactly what features you're going to be building? And the reason I ask that is if you already know what scope you're going to be building, then you can reverse engineer into that and figure out what the timing, what the cost implications are going to be. But if it's like a greenfield project that's brand new and you're still evaluating the scope and you're not sure what's going to be, then there might be an iterative process where you would need to work with your stakeholders and regularly chunk it up into small batches and then incrementally deliver that by getting their feedback on a regular basis. So it depends on whether the scope is already known on day one. If it's not, if it's known, then you just reverse engineer, create small batch sizes, project the timeline out, forecast however long you're going to do it. You can still iterate through the process, which means you finish a time box and then you can look back and see how it went. You can get feedback from stakeholders. You can recalibrate expectations. But for the most part, it's going to be a static line forecast because you already know exactly what features are going to be built. On the other side, if you don't know and you're progressively evolving the scope of work, then you're going to need a more interactive process between you and the stakeholder. That's where you get into concepts like Scrum, right? So at the end of a sprint, for example, you're going to have a review, then you have a retrospective. And then based off of that, you inspect and adapt for the next. Yeah, if you're the latter, then maybe Scrum and the rigor of Scrum around planning and execution might make a little more sense for you.